have a very special guest joining us on this episode of the GKB podcast. She is coming straight from the Sinister Circus and the Bloody Big Top. She is a scare actor and a wicked clown. Please welcome Bladez The Clown. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Let me just start by saying this. First of all, you look phenomenal. But second of all, I think your name, Bladez The Clown, may be the best name in clown history. It leaves no room for interpretation or misconception. Bladez The Clown is coming to slice you the fuck up, to slice you up. How did you come up with the name and your clown persona? How long have you been clowning for?
Coming up, I'm terrible with years. This is absolutely terrible. I started in 2021, so I think that's five years coming up this year, because it goes every October. I got it from the Vampire Hunter. Of course I did, Blade, because my dad's favorite character.
Nice.
Literally ever. So
smart man.
When I got into scare acting, it was the COVID years. So we had tents instead of like one themed house, and I was put in the circus tent, and I met another absolutely fabulous creator, Bladez The Clown. She already had a character established, and then she helped me a whole bunch, and I was sitting and I'm like, I have no idea what to name my clown. I don't know. And my dad was like, well, it's a vampire clown. There's a vampire hunter. Bladez The Clown. I'm
boom. Boom.
Bless.
Epic.
Bless.
So you started doing scare acting during COVID? See, I feel like that industry would be dry during COVID.
It
were
was,
you
but
behind
it was
like glass boxes
tents.
or something?
So we had like stupid little tents, and then cars would drive in, and then we try to scare people around the car.
I've seen that. It was pretty cool though. Did you like doing it that way?
I did, but I couldn't do it now because my costume would destroy a car if I touched it.
You got all the kind of sharp objects and stuff keying people up.
So a lot of the cars ended up with paint damage, and I was like, yeah, let's not do that again.
Keep blades away from the cars. Wow. That's wild. So then eventually things got back to normal and you started doing regular scare acting, which we'll get to in just 1 second. We're also going to get to you are in the funeral industry. But I want to ask you this because I've been thinking about this for like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years now. When I started coming up on the internet, let's say in 2006 or something like that, the only clowns online were juggalos, were my people. And for years. And then all of a sudden, maybe like 2 years ago, I start seeing a proliferation and a rise in clown content creators that weren't juggalos. Like some of them would be wicked, scary clowns like yourself, but a lot of them are just normal clowns and like there's all different types. Did you see a rise in clown content as well, or was I just missing it?
No. Clowns went viral in 2020.
I thought
with like the whole lockdown thing with ICP going viral. It was like everyone was stir crazy, so clown makeup became this huge thing. Like you were not it was giant. A lot of just so simple what was her name? Avani, when she just did like the lipstick triangles and all that stuff. Like it was giant. It was a huge thing. So
that's what I thought, because like I said, I didn't see any of that stuff when I was coming up and for years and years and years. So that makes total sense, especially during lockdown. Everybody was losing their minds, and now they're turning into clowns and stuff like that. That's wild, man. What is the process of doing the paint? And because you were still doing some of it when we got on the call, you were getting the teeth done. So how long does it take you to do this? It looks really cool.
It depends. So the base can change. Whether if I'm going to a con, the white base will be airbrush, but the airbrush paint is thinner, so it takes a while to build up. If today it's cream, but with the airbrush, the rest of the face is super simple, so it takes about 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's a lot.
How often of the year are you in clown persona?
See, I think something scare actors will never tell you is they dream about being in makeup all the time, but they want out before they're even done putting it on. I will only be in makeup when I have to.
Right. I can imagine. I mean, 2 hours. Like that's a lot of time. That's
So I'm
crazy.
in for cons, like horror con, the Comic Con, all of those things. I'll be in makeup out of like the 4 days. I'll be in a clown for one, and
Hmm.
then the haunt days. Other than that, I get in to make TikToks and I'm done.
Right, right.
Done.
And then when does the haunt season usually start? Because you're in Canada. So when does haunt season start over there?
It depends. At when we were at the building we used to be at, we'd start in the first week of September and we'd run until about November 1st or 2nd.
Okay.
And then we moved to a different place, like an outdoor location, and haunting got super hard because it's so cold here.
Oh my
So
God.
then we only haunted for one weekend and it was 4 days, Thursday to Sunday.
Okay. So you're on an outside location now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to get to that in 1 second. But to wrap up the clown conversation, I do want to put you on the spot here, and I'll go first just so you could think for a second. But I have to ask for your top three favorite clowns in history. I'm gonna go first just so you get some time, and I'm gonna say obviously my favorite clowns. The top favorite clown is ICP. I'm gonna just lump them both into one spot.
Yeah.
ICP is my favorite. Then I'm gonna go with Tim Curry's with Tim Curry's Pennywise. I mean, it scared the shit out of me as a child. I love it. I mean, I do love the new one, Bill Skarsgård. I think he did a fantastic job, but nothing beats the original for me. And then being a gamer, I gotta say the Harlequin from the Batman Arkham series. My
The
top
good
three.
one.
And I got to do an honorable mention: the clown doll from Scary Movie 2 that Ray sexually assaulted under the bed. That's my fourth favorite clown. Those are my tops. Boom. You can steal mine if you want.
Um, Probably number one is my best friend Flix, because she taught me
Oh,
everything. We work together. We are always in costume together. We're going to the Comic Con this year together. It's a whole thing. Like, we're always together. She taught me everything that I know. Fantastic human being,
boom.
fantastic clown, shameless plug.
Number one.
Second, Captain Spaulding. He's
Ooh,
not
what
really
a
a
good
clown,
one.
but I love
That's
the
a clown,
movies.
dude. That's a clown.
I love his whole like beer addicted uncle dad vibe. His whole I love it so much. And then Art the Clown.
Ooh, see, you
Yeah.
got me with Captain Spaulding. Yeah, he's definitely a clown. He's definitely like totally. That scene of him in the
Oh
Devil's
yeah.
Rejects with the mom and the son is like one of the greatest. That was amazing, man. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Captain Spaulding, by the way. Let's get back to haunting. You said you're doing an outside haunt. So how is it doing an outside haunted house in Canada? You're freezing. Do you even have the energy to scare anybody, or are you just constantly just shivering?
Well, I wear thermals. So my old costume, this is my new costume. I haven't scared in this one yet, but it was an open chest, like with a bolero, and I had to wear thermals. I'm probably still gonna wear them because it was so miserable. I didn't have gloves before, had to get them, had the hand warmers, the whole thing. It's so cold, but I have a noisemaker, so scaring is a lot easier for me. I don't have to like creep around. I couldn't
Nice.
creep around. You'll hear
Nice.
me from a
Yeah.
mile away, but like it's a lot easier. I think I have a lot more respect for the scarers who don't have a noisemaker because they are contorting in the cold, running around. They've got the super flexible, thin costumes. So it's a lot harder for them. But I think with my little noisemaker, it's kind of easy.
Right.
It's
Right.
just uncomfortable.
And then so you got into scare acting in 2020, you said?
2020 or 2021, I don't
And that's
remember.
just because you love a horror, I'm assuming.
Um, it's because my mom and dad scare acted together and they saw the volunteer now thing and it was COVID, so we were all at home and had nothing to do. And it was a COVID safe activity. So she's like, you should do this. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just kept going back and I couldn't stop.
Wow, how romantic. Your mom and dad scaring people together. What, did they meet that way, or they did it later?
So they actually met through friends, but then my family's like a huge Halloween thing. So they
Oh, yeah.
did house haunts, like they would turn the backyard into haunted houses, and then they were always scaring together. And even then, my dad would set up little haunted houses in the front yard and stuff. And then from there, it was Halloween was our thing. We're the creepy neighbors in our neighborhood. There's like skulls and cobwebs all over our house all year round. So it was literally like funneled into the haunt industry.
So you were born and bred for this. This
Yeah,
is in your
I was made. Yeah.
DNA. That's what's up, man. That's sick. So take me into the day or the night in the life of a scare actor.
Oh, let's do a Saturday. The Saturdays are the best.
Let's do it.
So usually it depends because we used to have low scare. So I used to have to get into makeup at like 10 in the morning. Don't have to anymore. So you spend your whole day moping around until like 3 o'clock. You get into makeup. You don't put in the contacts because they suck. You get there, and then usually it's a whole bunch of running around trying to find the walkies, the managers. And then I usually do a couple people's makeup. It depends on the day. Sometimes they don't need it done. And then you wait around for the crowd because it's a lot of just sitting there. But at my haunt, we have different scare zones. So we're the red zone, which means there's curtains on both sides of our little area, and that's where we stay. We can't leave. So we sit in this curtained area for hours waiting for people. And then we spend all night scaring them. And then after, a manager will come release you, and they're like, okay, everyone's good to go. And we have to wait till everyone's out of the park because we're not allowed outside of the curtains if there's children in the park. And then I don't like to take off my makeup there. I don't like to take off anything there. But some people will take off their wigs and then you usually drive home looking like a hot mess.
What's the duration of time that you're sitting there waiting for people to come? Like the in-between time of groups?
It used to be at the indoor haunt 5 minutes. So there were 5 minutes-ish, something like 2 to 3 minutes between every group. It never worked. They'd all get congested anyway, and then you've got like 30 people coming through your area. But it's actually like just a free zone, free roam at the outdoor one, so people can just come in, come out, spend as much time in there as they want. It's just a walk through a park, but we happen to be there.
Okay.
There's no building for us or anything to use.
Wow. Just tents and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're just sitting there, literally in the open. There's nothing. We've got nothing.
So when you first started, what was it like when you had to get into character and scare people? Like what did it feel like?
It was hard. I started working inside the house. I'm an out-of-house actor now. I've got enough of a character. But even then, I remember for my first 2 years of haunting, I never made a sound. I was convinced that my character was this silent character because you don't know how to scream. Like when you're in the moment and you are confronted with the option to scream at someone to scare them, you realize other than when you're afraid, how do you make this noise and how do you control it and how do you make it not hurt? It's a lot of really uncomfortable alone practice. So 2 years, I never made a sound. And then my third year, I was working on my screams. And then it was so uncomfortable to not like pierce the sound barrier to the point where it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then you get the character voice and the whole thing. But the first couple years of haunting are so uncomfortable and so unbearable trying to get into character because you have no idea. You have no idea what you're doing, or like no one tells you what to do because it's different for everybody. So you're kind of just sitting there like,
Yeah, I could imagine. That's why I asked. I could imagine it could be like kind of weird getting your footing, depending on who you are to figure out how to scare people. I mean, I guess it sounds easy sitting here, like, oh, you just go there, then you jump out. I'm sure that it depends on who you are. You have to bring a certain thing out of yourself. You can't just copy what the next guy is doing. So that's why I asked the question. Like how did you find? You said it was a lot of solo practice, like finding your footing in that regard.
yeah, it depends because not everybody wants the same things out of haunting. Like this is a character, this is a person. When I get in character, I'm a different person. I project the parts of my personality that I usually don't like to project. A lot of people, they just put on a costume, give it a scary voice, and that's fun to them. And if that's what they want to do, completely each their own. But of course, then they see the people with the big teeth and the Instagram and the TikTok and all this, and they get recognized when people come and then they want to grow into that. And I think a lot of the times when I was working on becoming this, it's just a lot of these people are never going to see you again. If you were out of makeup, they could not pick you out of a crowd. They paid for you to interact with them. So, regardless of what you do, you're giving them what they want. So, have fun with it. It was a lot of just pushing, does this feel like something I could do? Or is this like really kind of just boring for me? If it's not fun, then it's not your character. You should have fun working on your character. Oh gosh.
Did you ever scare somebody so bad that you felt bad that you scared them?
All the time.
Really?
Okay.
You must be great.
I don't feel bad about scaring the adults, the teenagers. If they get traumatized, that's your own problem. You came to me, I did my job. But
Right.
when we were at the outdoor haunt and we had our little curtains and there was a warning outside that like this is the high scare zone. And these parents would read this warning and they're like, "Oh, my 2-year old's ready." Your 2-year-old is not ready.
What the hell?
So you've got these children dressed as like Winnie the
Oh,
Pooh
hell
characters
no.
screaming for and they're so terrified they can't even run.
What?
So they're just staring at you, absolutely screaming so hard that they're not breathing. They're crying and I'm like, I'm not even doing anything. It's just the fact that I exist and they can see me that's scaring these kids, and their parents think it's the funniest thing ever. And I feel terrible because there's nothing I can do.
That is so sad.
Like, that's so mean.
What the fuck?
And it happens all the time.
Dude.
All the time.
There's no way. People are bringing their kids to the 2-year-old kids dressed up as Winnie the Pooh to a freaking haunted house?
And they think it's the funniest thing ever. They sit with their little camera and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to show him this when he grows up." If he makes it, he's not breathing.
Wow.
Now you
So
know
it's
you're
brutal.
retarded.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh my God.
I didn't either. And I was like, I can't help this kid. I can't touch them. So I'm just going to hide. But they already know I'm there. So
Dude, if
the
you're
damage
out,
is already done.
If you're out here doing that, you gotta chill. You gotta stop. That's absurd, dude. That is not cool. That's why they have like on Six Flags, they let everybody know when it's gonna get wild. They're like, all right, take the kids out. It's gonna get crazy. You know, like, wow, oh, wow. So, are there any negatives and downsides to the job? I'm sure there are. Or things
There
maybe
a
you personally
few.
don't like.
The main two, first of all, it's a money pit. You're constantly sinking money into it. It's a very expensive hobby. I wish there was an affordable way to haunt, but even then, some things like the teeth, the contacts, the mouth effects, you can't just make these things. And if you want them, like it's $20 a bottle, Canadian. So, and all you do is eat it. That's it.
Right.
So if there was a way to make these things, it'd be so much better. But unfortunately, the money's just going to keep going. And I don't like the way people treat you when you're in costume. It's a very slim minority, but when you get into costume, a lot of people, to displace their fear, will turn you into an object. And rather than realizing that you're doing your job and they're paying for you to do what you're doing, they will belittle you, sexualize you. They think it's okay to literally sexually harass you.
What?
Just because, yeah.
You've been sexually
and-
harassed in there?
Oh my God. And I
No.
hate to be that guy, but the middle-aged women, I love them, but they think it's okay to just hit on us female characters because we're like one of them, and they're like, "I want to make out with you so bad."
Oh, right. creepy. They're turning around on y'all. They're scaring
Yeah,
y'all.
I'm like, now I'm scared.
They're putting you guys in the corner. What the hell? I thought you were gonna say
All the
middle-aged
time.
dudes. It's the moms out here trying to
It's the
creep
moms
up on
with their
you.
kids over there.
Oh my god, they need to run their own haunted house. Holy shit.
I'm like, damn, I'm being date raped and I'm not even on the date.
No way.
What's
Has
happening?
anybody ever like touched you or slapped you or
Yeah,
anything?
yeah.
Really? What do they do?
A lot of times they push you
No
or they
way.
like try to grab you to get your attention. So I'm a
Oh,
smaller person. I'm 5'1". So a lot of the times when people want to get my attention and they don't know how, they grab the back of my shirt
no
and then they pull me
way.
around. I'm like, what the
What?
actual fuck?
You guys got to get security up in there. Start beating people down.
They get escorted they're surprised. They're like, why are you
What?
dragging me
What
out? I
I
didn't do anything.
do?
You're
What the
you're
hell,
manhandling me.
dude?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
That's
Every season.
insane. That's
hmm
insane. Do you have any insane, wild incidents and stories that you've seen or been a part of? It sounds like you might.
I think my least favorite, I say my favorite, it's just the only one that I remember super clearly. There was this guy, and he was clearly so unbelievably high out of his mind. So, whatever, you shouldn't be, we are supposed to have a zero tolerance policy, but some people can hide it really well. So, I was in the gift shop and I was just roaming around. It was really slow. And he's trying to squeeze past me and he wraps his hands around my waist. He squeezes them and then he pushes me and he's like, "Sorry, princess, just gonna move through here."
What?
What?
No way. What
All
did,
the time.
did you bite him with those teeth?
I just kind of stood there and when he displaced me, I was like, did I actually just get manhandled or am I losing my shit?
No way.
And then it was the same guy when the people security started to catch wind that he was high and he was getting in the face of the actors in the house. And my poor friend Flix was out front and she tried to scare him. He pushed her.
No, tell me he got his ass beat. Please tell me. Please.
So security was like, fuck that. And then they grabbed him and they called the police because he drove his high ass out of the parkade.
Oh my god, what a menace, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
so
crap. Yeah, I
that's
can
crazy.
imagine there's a lot of people bugging out at the haunted house and
All
doing
the
wild
time,
stuff.
especially if they're high and drunk and they think they can handle it and they think it's a good idea. I promise it's not.
Wow.
I promise.
Wow. So I've always wanted to be a scare actor. I've never done it. So for somebody like me, what does it take to be a scare actor, would you say?
Um, Extreme mental fortitude.
I'm already done. I'm already done.
Honestly, when it comes to the costuming part, if you want to put together a decent costume, it's not hard. You can get through with hand sewing almost all of it. It's just the willingness to put yourself forward out there and reflect on what parts of me do I not like and how can I turn them into something that I enjoy doing, something I enjoy projecting. So it's honestly the physical, the look of it all, super easy. A lot of you can honestly just get by guessing, honestly. But it's a lot of whether you're willing to just project yourself into a character or if you're just a scary voice.
Got it. Mental fortitude. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Extreme.
It's the
Extreme.
only thing.
It sounds like it. Man. It sounds like a hard job. You're standing up for hours. You're screaming. So you're running around. Like it seems like a lot of energy. Are you worn? You got to be worn out at the end of this. At the end of the
Oh,
day.
yeah. Well, it's just, it doesn't matter how comfortable your shoes are, they're gonna hurt and they're not gonna be comfortable anymore. Your
Right.
costume, because this can't be washed. This collar, I've had it for about 3 years. All of the discoloration is years worth of spit.
Wow.
So it's just this, and it just sits on your costume.
Oh
for
man.
and it gets really gross and you can try to weather, you can wash it, you can soak it doesn't come out, it's gonna stink, you're gonna feel gross, you're gonna feel sweaty, It's just perpetual uncomfortable.
And then now you're out on the coast, so the spit is turning into fucking icicles on the costume.
Oh, it's cold, it's wet, you're sweating somehow.
Oh my god, the cons must be more fun though, right? Because it's more just chill, take pictures of
Oh yeah.
people. It must be a different world on the cons.
Because when you go to the cons, you dress to be pretty. You dress to look, you don't have to run. You don't have to do much physical. You're just walking around. So you can be like, it's not practical. You can put the details that won't like survive a haunt night onto your costume. You can just be there to look. Because
Right.
I'm not in character at a con. No, I'm just
Right.
there to be
You get kicked
cool
out.
looking.
Get kicked out. You start blading it up.
I was scared they were gonna kick me out last year, but they didn't.
You go to like a horror con. You say you go to Comic Con too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you get a lot of attention over there. A lot of pics.
A lot of what is that?
Yeah. Yeah. I asked this because we had a professional mermaid on the show a couple months back. Shout out to her. And I asked her if there's any beef in the mermaid community because I didn't know there was a mermaid community. So, are you in the clown community online? Is there beef going on? And who do we not like? Because we're on your side. So who are we beefing with?
Ugh. The thing about the clown community is they all just like we all love each other.
Oh, good.
There's no beef in the clown community. There's beef to get into the clown community. So I think a lot of it is just like clowns, the most supportive, sweet, kind, willing to share people in the whole world. All of the clown actors, 9 times out of 10 when you approach one, sweetest person you'll ever meet.
Nice.
Getting into the clown community, a little hard.
Really?
Well,
they test you. You gotta be like it's like getting to the Hell's Angels or something.
everyone wants to be original, but when the whole staple of a character is the triangles around the eyes and the smile, everyone's gonna have that. So it becomes a lot harder to be original.
Right.
And there's a lot more tiptoeing around other creators because they're sweet and they don't
yeah.
care.
Oh.
But you still have to ask, is it okay if I
Yeah, because you might be
borrow
a
this
biter.
or this?
You
Yeah,
wanna
like
be a
you don't want to
biter.
step on any toes.
Oh, you bit my triangles. I was using green.
Yeah. It's like
Oh,
that TikTok
I
drama
got
of
it.
the you copied my piercing setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of that, but there's no like. It's kind of you said they're very sweet, so they don't really like. It's not aggressive.
No, not
Like,
at all.
hey,
They're
I
so
was
kind.
doing that a year ago, and now you're doing it, so it's like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. There's no issues. That's good. So as we said, when you're not clowning, you are in the funeral business right now, and you're in school for this, right?
Yes, it's school and my job.
Okay, so I had a misconception. I don't know if it's like this in America, but I thought you had to go to college to then go to mortuary school. You're saying that's not true, right?
No, you don't have to, at least here, you don't have to have anything special. You just have to have a diploma to get into mortuary school. I went right from high school.
Okay, so you're in mortuary school and also something else. You said like
So
funeral director.
anything funeral related is mortuary school.
Okay,
So funeral directing and embalming, the umbrella term is mortuary school.
got it.
I'm in the embalming end of that.
Okay, so how long have you been doing mortuary school now?
I'm on my 2nd year.
How many years is it?
4 for
4
the full
years.
license.
Okay, so what are you doing currently right now? What's going on?
Right now, I'm done all of my courses. It was primarily online, so I have to have 72 hours of arterial injection and I think 50 embalming logs in order to get my license.
Oh,
So
this
you
is
need the
what you have to do
72
now.
hours.
That's what you have
Yeah.
to do currently coming up.
Yeah.
So all of
So
it was
I'm doing
online
that.
before that?
All of that is school. All of it.
But before, like everything you did prior right now was online? You didn't have to go anywhere?
So there's only 2 classes that are in person. So you've got it's so stupid the way it's set up. I can't speak for American schools, but my school, when we are doing it, our embalming program, we have 2 weeks of practicum. So essentially, there's a list of funeral homes, and in those 2 weeks, the students are split into groups, and the funeral home will call us in for labs. So we'll do embalmings as a group, and it can be anytime, anywhere, zero notice. So basically, for 2 weeks, you're constantly on call. People fly in. Like, I remember doing a lab from Haunt. I went from Haunt, did a lab, and then came back and did more Haunt.
In the clown getup.
I was working security. I couldn't do it like this.
Oh,
The
okay.
guy that I did the lab with totally would have let me, but
That would have been crazy.
it's uncomfortable.
That would have been crazy. So you
And
had to do
then
a couple
it's
labs.
the restorative
Okay.
art.
What is that? That's like makeup and all that stuff?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
we had a skull, a wax skull, and we had 2 weeks to build a face out of wax of someone that we knew and
Whoa.
submit it with pictures of the person that we knew.
Wow. How did you do? I'm sure you
I
did
did pretty
great.
good actually. I made my cousin. She's very slim, very simple features. So I made her, and I think I got a 89.
Was she freaked out when she saw it? She's like, what the hell?
My cousins have a morbid curiosity with what I do. So when
Okay.
I asked if she would be my model for my dead person school, she was like jumping for joy.
Okay.
Could not be more excited.
You guys sound like my kind of family. Everybody's into the dark arts over there. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's sick, dude. So that was all the stuff you had to do in the field the last like couple of years. And then
Yes.
what does the online stuff look like? Just boring like tests and stuff like that?
There's definitely some boring stuff. I am not the hugest fan of funeral attending, mostly because it's a lot of sitting there doing paperwork and just sending people places. I'll still do it and I enjoy it. But when you're doing a funeral attending class, it's what do you wear? How do you talk? Where do you go?
Okay.
But then you've got the anatomy classes, and those are okay. They're all right, but I think the embalming theories were the most interesting because that's where you learn about the suture types and how to close and set features and arterial injections and different types of chemicals. So the rest of it's just like, where do you find this artery and what do the chemicals do? So it's, the stuff you have to do.
Okay. And that's the most interesting part to you, that kind of stuff. Like the
Yeah.
arteries and the injections. You're not a big fan of the funeral directing, and I'm sure because it's like literally the opposite of what you're doing now. You can't go in there and start like bugging out, you can't be loud, you
Yeah.
gotta be mad, you gotta be chill, and you gotta dress like I'm sure very like, just down, like toned down.
Yeah, I
So
wear a suit.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the
Got to take
exact
out the nose
opposite.
ring, the whole thing.
Oh, you gotta take the nose ring out?
Yeah, I flip it in. I have to take off my earrings because they've got little skulls on them. You gotta put
Oh.
makeup on the tattoos. It's the whole thing.
Lame. Makeup. Wow, this is very involved.
Yeah,
You
it's
live you live in like
very
a
formal.
double you live in like a double life now.
I am.
You go you go from killer clown to like, oh yes, yes, ma'am, and you're all straight laced and stuff. No tats. That's wild, dude. That must be crazy. So what does the next 2 years look like for you ahead in mortuary school?
So once I get my embalming license, I will be employed as an embalmer that also funeral attends. And then after I graduate in September, I had to delay my graduation. I'm going to save for a year so I don't dig a student debt hole because it's effing ridiculous.
Right.
And then I'm going to go back for funeral directing because you're only really marketable in the funeral industry if you have both.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna get the basics down and then go back for funeral directing, and you'll have a
Yeah.
job. You'll have a job while you're in school. You're saying doing the embalming and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So you'll
Yeah,
be making
so
money.
got the job already.
Oh, congrats! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. So then, what do you work as now in the funeral business?
So I'm a funeral service attendant. So I assist directors on services, and I can also assist in the prep room. I just do basically everything that, the people who have an education don't do.
Okay.
So they sit there and direct funerals, and I run all the errands. Sometimes I'll do transfers. I will pack for services. I will go for services. I'll cremate remains. It's a
Oh.
whole, literally everything.
Okay. How's that? What's the cremation like?
Tough. It's tough. They're heavy. It's hot in there.
I bet.
So you have to make sure, you have to triple check that you've got all the paperwork, that this is the right body. It does happen. And then you've got to lift them into the crematorium. The crematorium heats up for about 25 minutes to 35 minutes, and that room gets hot fast. And then you have to take a little broom and then you sweep out, because when you cremate remains, they're not ashes when you open the crematorium. They're bones still, but they're, when you touch them with anything, they crumble. So you have to
Interesting.
sweep out all the bones, and then you sit there and you crush them. Like graham
Whoa, so you're
crackers.
out here crushing human bone every day?
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. That's crazy. Holy crap. I didn't know that. You
So they
dropping
come out
knowledge on
whole.
here. Dropping. So you're crushing like a human skull every week.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I've pulled out a whole mandible at
Oh
a
my
time.
god. Wow. That's awesome, man. It seems like you love it, so that's amazing, man.
Yeah. Best industry ever.
So that's where you want to go. You want to like run a funeral home?
Yeah. I want to have my own practice with my sister.
Nice. So do you have to be toned down while you're doing the assisting? Do they make you do the whole no piercing, this, that, and the other thing?
Yes. So my
Oh,
earrings, they're just silver hoops with skulls. They have to come out. The septum flips up into my nose. The hair has to be slicked and in a nice
lame.
ponytail. They don't care if what it is, it just has to be up. Your tattoos have to be hidden. You have to wear the same tights as everyone else, the same suit as everyone else, the whole thing the same as everybody else. It is brutal. I look like a little French boy running around in my suit.
So that's the
It's
only lame
foul.
part. That's the only lame part about the job.
And then they've got us detailing the cars in a
Really?
suit.
Oh wow. So you're just hot all the time. 'Cause you're
Yeah,
in the
I'm just doing everything in
crematorium,
the suit.
you're detailing cars, and then when you go to the haunt, you're always cold.
Yeah.
Oh my
So I'm
god.
always in an
You
extreme
just
misery of both.
your life is just like one side or the other. You're just polarized everywhere. It's either you're done up in the clown makeup or you gotta walk around like an FBI agent, like a Man in Black or something like that.
But like getting out of the cleanest black Chrysler you've ever seen in your little suit with your long trench coat and your black gloves,
Pretty
I feel
sick.
so cool.
Pretty
Uh,
sick. And then you're crushing bones.
yeah, and then I'm just picking out little hip joints. The most annoying part is like when someone's got a scoliosis correction, and then you have to pick out all the different screws that went up their spine.
Oh wow! So I
Yeah.
would have never thought of that.
Yeah,
That's
because we've got
wild,
a
dude.
bucket full of the medical like implants and stuff. So you
Okay.
have to go through and make sure that you're not giving the family any screws or joints, anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they sharp and they hot for a
Oh
long
yeah, I
time.
bet. Yeah, I bet. Coming out that oven. Are you
Yeah,
more of a
it's so
fan?
hot.
Are you more of a fan of the burial or the cremation in terms of what would you want?
Um, I would say the cremation.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Everybody should get cremated. Enough. Enough putting people in the ground. There's no more space. It's ridiculous. Burn us
Honestly,
all. Burn us all and throw us away.
like
Enough.
if I think the most annoying part that I didn't realize until after I got into the profession is green burials, which are ideally, we should be doing more green burials. We don't have the space for these cement burial vaults.
Hmm.
It's caskets are so expensive. When someone dies, the last thing I want to do is slide a $10,000 bill for a casket down the table. Why would I ever want to? So I think we should make green burial caskets much more affordable. But why are they the most expensive option? Why is it $15,000 for a wooden box?
And those are the ones that eventually disintegrate over time.
Yeah,
You would think those would be the cheapest.
they're the simplest. They're non-treated boxes of wood.
And then
Why am I paying $15,000 for that?
you got one with fucking chrome on it, all this
And the
shit.
green burials don't even pick where they are buried. They
Yeah.
don't. They have to be buried in a green burial plot,
Oh, how lame, dude. No.
right? So there's no
Just
family burials.
just burn us. That's it. Just and then throw the ashes wherever you want. That's what I'm saying. Enough. This is too old school. It's enough already.
Like
Enough with that.
I don't understand it
Yeah.
because a lot of the times there's even options for department to sea. So you can put them in a wicker casket and whoosh them out to sea.
Right.
Oh, but there's also cryo freezing.
What is that, like Walt Disney's head?
So you can opt to have your loved one sent to a cryogenic center somewhere and have them frozen. So when we do develop the technology to bring them back to life, we can bring them back to life.
Do you think that's possible? Do you think we could bring somebody back to life eventually?
Hell no.
No, I don't think so. I think your soul is gone, bro. You're gone. That's it. What are you gonna do?
With
I'm
all
in
the
agreement with
cultural
you.
beliefs of like pushing a soul forward, hell no.
That's what I'm
Just
saying.
let them go. They've got their own thing going now.
That's what I'm saying. You're done. I don't think you could bring somebody back to life because the soul is gone. You know,
I don't think they
mean,
want to be brought back to life.
I don't know, man. It's weird. How expensive have you seen it get in terms of funerals? Because it can get real expensive up in there.
It gets expensive and it gets expensive fast. So the caskets, I've seen them go up to $20,000.
Wow. So
It depends on the
casket.
wood. Yeah, so a lot of the caskets that run you that high will never be in a funeral home because they don't want to keep them for any reason. If the funeral home were to burn down, that is a giant
20
bill
G's.
for insurance to foot, and they
20
don't want to do
G's.
that. So a funeral honestly can run you up to, I'd say, about $35,000 because you've got to pay for the casket, any services that you do, the burial vault, and it's not the service that itself is expensive, it's everything that comes with it. So you have to pay all of these people to do their job.
Right.
You don't have to pay for the service, you have to pay for everyone to be there.
Right. Are you a fan of the Mortuary Assistant video game? Have you played that?
It is so good.
You like the game? I was gonna say, is it accurate?
So good. It's so accurate. The only thing is that I don't remember what the chemical was called, but you don't inject it. It's a disinfectant.
Oh, okay.
Everything else though, spot on. Completely accurate.
Even the haunting, you get like haunted every time you do it. There's demons and stuff coming out.
Oh, sometimes I'd be feeling that because why are the prep rooms always in the basement?
Oh, yeah, I should have. I don't know why I didn't even think about that. Do you experience any paranormal activity at work?
Not necessarily because I work at the newer buildings, but bodies do things on their own.
I've heard that.
Yeah, they do move.
You've seen it?
I've seen it. I've seen the arms just flop around.
Oh my God, does that not freak you out?
It does. I think I would rather they flop around, though, than have to listen to the death scream again. That was brutal.
What is that?
So, when we have cavity embalming, so when you're doing your arterial injection, your embalming is going through your arterial system, but we still have to embalm your organs because you don't want a rotting organ to ruin your beautiful embalming job. So we take a long stick with the little pokey head on the end. It's called a trocar, and you just remove all the fluid from the internal organs. But if you take the trocar and you put it up through the center of the body, when you put it down in their windpipe, the strong sucking force will pull their vocal cords together and they'll scream.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And you've heard it. I gotta
it's
see
like those Aztec death whistles.
There's got to be a YouTube video. There's got to be one of the scream. I gotta hear that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Scary.
It's so freaky because you watch their neck come in and their mouth open.
Whoa.
It's freaky.
Not everybody's built for that.
I was not a fan. Not a fan.
That deterred you right there. You didn't like that one?
Well, he didn't tell us that he was showing us the scream. So he was just aspirating, and then the dead body started to scream, and I started to scream.
Honestly, I wouldn't tell you guys
screaming.
either. I wouldn't tell you guys either. I want to see what you got. I want to play like a joke. I would do it too. I wouldn't tell anybody. I wouldn't warn you. That's crazy, dude. Have you ever experienced paranormal activity in general, though?
No.
Never.
I even if I have, I will ignore it.
You could, I would, so
I'm
you would
so
imagine
scared.
most people would probably think you have. Like, people probably think you're talking to ghosts all day with just the way everything you do. You know, like at the haunted
I've had
house, and
mediums tell me.
you've
I've had so many mediums. They come up to me all the time. They're like, "There's a ghost with you."
and you're like,
That's cool.
I didn't know.
I don't care.
You never,
I don't
I
care.
never feel them. They don't talk to me.
I had this one, I was at a concert and she came up to me and she's like, "There's a young boy with you and he's very happy. He's very taken care of." Well, it's not me I'm glad he's happy,
Yeah,
but I'm not doing shit.
he didn't
I
let
did
me
not know he
know.
was there.
He didn't tell me.
He didn't tell me. I didn't feed him. So
Oh man. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Please plug away anything you want to let everybody know where to find you, all that stuff.
all of my socials are Bladez the Clown.
With
All
a
of them,
Z,
literally
right?
everything.
With a Z?
Yes.
Blades with a Z. Go check out the stuff. Peace and love. See you next time.